Hello everybody, Shuffle Move version 0.3.0 is out, and a short little bug fix 0.3.1 is also now out. To get the current version, you can go to either current version lookup, which is my own personal hosted server, in my own house actually. You just click this link, download. If your browser said it's a malware, virus, ignore it. It's probably not. If you want to make sure, once you downloaded it, check that the checksum there exactly matches when you drag drop this. That checksum should be the same as this. If it is, good. You're set to go. You can extract it. If you have any bugs or comments, be sure to post on the release thread and vote in the Shuffle Move polls that I have every now and then. It's just basically my way of getting feedback from the community of what you think is the best way to go about improving this. Make sure you subscribe, and then you can see updates when they happen. There's also a whole wiki with other stuff, FAQ, etc., etc. But all the real documentation is stored in the installer itself. If you just want to view the docs yourself, you're under docs, basic HTML. It has stuff and things. Help doc. It's useful. But anyway, you launch the program. First thing that happens is the help doc pops up. Basic usage, you can read that yourself. But here's the gist of it. Go to roster, set your teams. Oh look, I have everything I have all my fires at 5, but everything else is at 0. Because I like fire. There you go. I don't know, everything else at 3 anyway. So it's all at 3 except for fires, which are at 5. There we go. You can also set them individually. You go through, you can select it by mouse, or you hit tab and use the number pad or the numbers on your keyboard to type it in however you like. Doesn't really matter. Then you hit OK. Make sure that you either go File Save, Control S, or Roster Save to make sure that your roster is saved into a file so you don't lose that when your program closes. There's also Teams. You go in, you add the teams. You can filter stage here. This will allow you to select which stage you're selecting it for, that you're setting a team up for. You can set who the mega slot is. Only those with mega effects are allowed to have this. You can have them active or not. You can set it to be the team type default, which means whenever you go to a stage that you don't have a team for, it looks first for the stage of that type, the default stage of that type. So normal, if you're in a normal stage like Mouth, and you don't have a stage there, or a team there, it'll first look for the normal stage. See if that has a team. If it doesn't, then it looks for the largest stage's team that has a normal type, and then uses that. It tries to go through a bunch of fallbacks to make sure that you always get what you've configured in the past. Oh, you can also set the key bindings here, which are configured through other. Preferred keybinds in this order is how they are assigned. ASE. You just set this however you like, however your hand rests on the keyboard best. Do that. But anyway, so you have that. You can toggle mega through here. Load, save, whatever. There's also auto compute on by default with very low settings for the simulation. You can also increase your preferences to more, like if you have Mega Mewtwo, set it to like 5 or 6. If you have Ampharos, set this to like 10 to 50, depending on how good your processor is. Start low, then go high, gradually, just so you don't, lock up your processor for a while. And anyway, so you have your teams, you have your grid. There's default grids for certain grids. If you move into a stage, it'll automatically load that default. If, and only if, that default is present here. So, for example, stage 166. 166 Solosis. there's a preset known for that. When you save their board, it won't overwrite these, it'll instead save it here. If you feel that you've found a good default that you want to use for other stuff, when you save your grid, it gets added here. Then you can drag drop that into the defaults and it'll load that for you. Make sure though that the name itself exactly matches the name of that stage as listed in stages.txt. If it doesn't match it, it won't use it. So you go through, you paint the board, you can freeze the frozen paints. Here I'll just show. You can freeze paints by hitting F. Also for the colorblind, I put a F, EF, just so that you can see for sure that it's frozen. It's visibly changed. For Express, you can freeze, unfreeze blocks. You can't freeze air. And once you've done a move, you can undo it with Control Z, redo with Control Y. The shortcut for doing a move is Control Enter. You can turn off auto compute and turn it back on with Control F5. You can also go through and just have it off most of the time. Hit F5, just F5 when you're ready to compute, and it will recompute the best move. Show it up as this. The colors configurable, as I think I've mentioned. Yep, and they're just here. 0 to 255, red, green, blue. You go through. You have preferences, number of feeders, basically how many instances for each valid move will the simulation run. And feeder height. Height of feeders, if that's above 0, for each one of those instances of running it, fill the space above our board, meaning this stuff above here that we don't see, with random blocks from the card team. It is planned that in future this will account for not being able to generate wood or metal or the forced on stage species that have to be there. Like for example on 166 Solosis, you don't necessarily have Solosis yet, and Solosis definitely don't drop from the top automatically on that stage. But anyway, there you go. Configurations, other stuff. It's awesome. If there's ever an update, this will pop up. Click get newest version to get it. But if it's up to date, it won't do anything. If you mess up your installation directory and you need to revert, click force. It'll download the current version into your main directory right here. Like for example, if you hit force, yeah, it'll hang a little bit as it downloads. This actually uses the same link as was available on the main version site. And there it is. You can extract it there, and it'll overwrite all the bad files. There you go. Hope that's helped. Let me know on the release thread. Post any bugs, any problems, any comments, concerns, any ideas for updates. Subscribe to the subreddit so you can keep up to date. And yeah, message me on Reddit if you're interested in helping develop it. There's always more work to be done. Have fun.